Hong Kong environmental officials have estimated that around 200 tons of single-use plastic tableware and 10 billion of plastic bags and bottles are being thrown away every day. Facing this serious waste problem, the Hong Kong government has implemented the environmental levy scheme on plastic bags and designed a plan that stops the sales and use of disposable plastic tableware at restaurants around 2025. Moreover, it has developed a plan to prohibit the provisions of disposable plastic products such as plastic straw and stirrer to all customers in its territory. However, the Hong Kong single-use plastic waste problem is still serious. The total waste of plastic waste has been maintained at a level of 500 to 600 tons every day. By comparing and contrasting the policy among the three cities, Tokyo, Taipei, and London, we will later give some recommendations to the Hong Kong government to fix the current circumstances. Let's begin with how serious the single-use plastic problem is among Tokyo, Taipei, and London. In Tokyo, it is facing a similar situation with Hong Kong. There is a serious single-use plastic waste problem. It produces approximately 120,000 tons of plastic waste every year, while Taipei and London only produce approximately 100,000 and 50,000 tons of plastic waste every year. In terms of how serious the problem is, it is obvious that Tokyo's plastic waste problem is the most serious among the three cities.
Rather than the severity of the single-use plastic problem, the softness of the measure dealing with the problem among the three cities is quite different. In Tokyo, government there tend to use soft measures to cope with overuse of plastic problem. Instead of increasing the financial burden of the citizen and charging a fine when using single-use plastic, Tokyo government tend to educate their citizens and cooperate to raise their awareness of protecting the environment and urge them to switch to use plastic-free material. However, government in Taipei and London tend to use strict measures to deal with their overuse plastic problem. In Taipei, its government had developed a series of tough measures such as charging a maximum of $6,000 in Taiwan dollars to catering business which use single-use plastic material like straw and straws, since it has gradually abandoned the use of single-use plastic in the whole city. Unlike Tokyo and Taipei, London government used a more well-planned and strict measure to regulate the use of single-use plastic among business. It can assign the authority as the enforcement body to visit corporate premises and make test purchases, as well as asking their staffs about the sale and use of single-use plastic. If they find business continue to sell and use single-use plastic, like plastic tableware or straw, that have banned to sell and use, the business will be subjected as civil sanctions. The business owner may be forced to suspend their business temporarily. In the field of the above information, Tokyo tends to use some soft measures to deal with the problem, while Taipei and London prefer to use strict measures to cope with it. Also, the soft measures that was taken by Tokyo are focused on both aspects, on citizens and corporate, while the strict measures taken by Taipei and London only emphasize on the aspect on corporate.
Is the policy among the three cities effective?
In terms of the effectiveness of the policy among three cities, the policy and the measures that are taken by Tokyo are the most effective because the acceptability of the soft measure is the highest among the citizens and corporations. Although citizens and corporations are not totally forced to reduce the use of plastic, they are more willing to do so since they understand the importance of protecting the environment from education. According to a government report, the amount of single-use plastic waste has decreased by 7% after the measures are implemented. However, measures that are taken by Taipei and London are not as effective as those of Tokyo. In Taipei, the strict measure only decreased 1% of the total plastic use from the government report. Rather than Taipei, measures that are taken by London also are not quite effective. The strictest measures that are taken by London have resulted in the least effective. The total amount of the single-use plastic waste does not have a significant decrease after implementing the measure. Given the above, this implies that the strictest measures may not definitely have the best result. The most important thing is the acceptability of the targets. It is because the willingness of the targets to respond and change is the only way to solve the problem.
After comparing and contrasting the policy and measures of the overused plastic problem among the three cities, Tokyo, Taipei, and London, we think Hong Kong can benefit from successful example in Tokyo. Hong Kong is recommended to follow the implementations of soft measures to its citizens and corporations. Hong Kong should do more in education to promote the protections of the environment among citizens and business. Also, it should put more efforts in urging people to reduce the use of single-use plastic products. In order to have a significant impact on the current situations, the Hong Kong government is highly recommended to give more economic incentives, such as cash coupons or tax cuts, to citizens and corporations that can definitely increase the willingness of them to use less plastic in their daily life. Sometimes, head-to-head is not necessarily a good thing. Tough means may not bring a good result. Instead, implementing soft measures may be an excellent way to meet the target.